Arsenal have just beaten Spurs at the Lane. I don't know how you want to call it. Don't care how it is. But that is what you call domination in the location, according to Deji. As the last 3 trips to White Hart Lane, Arsenal have won all them times. So on that notice, maybe it's time for Tottenham fans to probably put a little bit of respect on Arsenal's name. Especially you, Deji. This is to you. I'm going to send this to you specifically before this even goes out. How about that? I'll click this little section out. Maybe even George. Maybe Ash. Maybe a few others. But I will say, though, that game was absolutely diabolical to watch. At first, I was thinking, oh, you know what? Arsenal don't look that good. You know what? I think they might lose this and this was the first 20 minutes? The first 20 minutes? But in those 20 minutes, I'm hoping you guys like this video. But subscribe. But I'm just looking at it like this. Arsenal missing Ødegaard and Declan Rice, right? And I'm thinking, I don't know what they're going to go with, but I kind of expect Trossard to go in a 10, kind of see Martinelli going on the left. Let's see how it goes from there. And then the game begins. A little bit lacking a little bit of quality on both sides. You know, Spurs in some decisions, maybe from Solanke, maybe from a couple others. You know, it could have been, it could have been 1-0 Spurs. But other than the first 15, 20 minutes, for the rest of the game, and I will skip most of the game, Spurs did absolutely nothing, right? And then, you know what, Daps had to elude me. He said, you know what? This is a game plan from Arsenal. This is what they come and set to do, to frustrate. The same thing they did to Villa was exactly the same thing they did to Spurs. They did have a go. They did try to get down the wings a lot. And he nearly did score through Martinelli. He should have buried that, 1-0? Didn't happen, though. Kai Havertz holding up the ball here and there, but kept giving it away. Surely it must be Spurs' day, right? No. Because who wants to step up to the mark? No one. I don't know if Brennan Johnson was on the bevies yesterday, or Son decided that he can't be asked to play. The only thing he had to show for that game was a nice little trick against Ben White, that Oompa Loompa. But furthermore than that, Solanke went missing. You paid 65 million squid for this guy. He's brought over his Bournemouth mentality, perhaps. Am I overdoing it? Maybe. Because guess what? The game plan today from your manager at your club, as you would say, Deji, was absolutely niche. Whip the ball in the back of the back post and see who can get the header over either Gabriel or Saliba, which is bread and butter for them. It was only a matter of time. I think most people knew that at some point Arsenal will get a chance, and it probably would be from a corner. Had to be. Didn't capitalize in any situations. Maddison, where has this guy been? Let me know. Bentancur, solid. He's all right. Van der Ven, hold your head high. Pedro Porro, good stuff. For me, obviously, Gabriel got the winner. He's going to get, obviously, the man of the match. But I'm here to praise a couple of Arsenal players. Not like that. I don't think Partey did anything significant. Hella yellow cards all around the gaff. Jorginho, Trossard, Martinelli, even Saka, other than the whip, barely did much. Timber had a very good game, though. He won't get a lot of the plaudits. Not at all. David Raya commanding that area the way he did as well. Won't get a lot of the plaudits. But this is the stuff that I try to watch to make sure that these sort of guys get their flowers. Saliba, Gabriel, that was just easy. I don't think they were troubled at all in the second half. I'm going to get told about the possession. Look at Tottenham's possession. They dominated the game. They controlled the game. That's not all about control, though, is it? Yes, in terms of passing and keeping the ball moving, of course you did. Anyone can do that. Man United do it. Doesn't mean they controlled the game, though. Defensively, it looked like it was a bit of an Arteta masterclass. He came in there with a game plan and it worked to a T. And he got what he needed, when he needed, how he needed. And nothing more, nothing less. Ange Postecoglou, there's a lot of questions over this guy's future at this moment of time. When people were talking about Spurs' squad, we've been saying it for the longest over the summer. He hasn't been back. A front three of Son, Solanke and flipping BJ is not good enough to get you Champions League football, is it? It really isn't. So why are we overrating it? It hasn't been spoken about enough either. And you know what? This kind of maybe sounds like I'm doing Arsenal's defence a bit of disservice. How can you expect a front three like that to penetrate such a defence? One of the better defences in the league at the moment. So yeah, maybe I'm not doing it a bit of disservice. But Tottenham are absolutely toothless and diabolical on all fronts. Maybe not so much in the defence. So I'm going to continue on this little rampage. I wanted Arsenal. I wanted Arsenal to either. Well, I kind of wanted them to win because I wanted, like, I wanted the Deji downfall, the George excuses. So, and I did say, I think Arsenal win this game. I said 3-2. Didn't expect it to be a 1-0 dead game, but they still won. Don't mind it. Arsenal probably lose at the Etihad next week. I'm all for that Arsenal downfall. No offense, Arsenal fans, if you're watching this, but you know what's coming. But other than that, toothless, absolutely spineless from that Tottenham attack. We need to have another conversation on this. They might struggle to score goals this year. And they're going to say, oh, wait, hold on. What about Everton and the 4-0? What about that? We scored enough goals. Look at your own club. Look at Man United. You don't score enough. You can see goals too. Cool. You scored 1 goal against Newcastle, right? Whatever. Created some ample opportunities to go ahead as well and kill off the game. Scored 1 against Leicester. Same result. Didn't happen. Didn't really address much though, did you? And then you look at the Everton game. I'm sorry, we can't look at Everton as a measuring stick. That's the same team that's gone 2-0 up in 2 different games and both conceded 3 goals in a matter of minutes to absolutely lose the game, who are absolute dross. And then you go to Arsenal now. Don't think they broke a sweat after the 20th minute. Don't think they got worked enough. I think Timber and obviously the fullbacks, Ben White. I thought Ben White was sound, to be fair, in the end. Timber had a little bit of work, getting 1-2, but I don't think they were fussed. It was easy. Didn't move the ball quick enough. And same thing for Arsenal. They didn't really, not really a great performance. But they got all the 3 points that they needed, considering their situation of their first 11. 2 of their main key midfielders, and another one being injured out. Not quite Man City quality, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to do comparisons. Let's talk about today. But we can talk about that for next week. I'm just saying it right here, right now. Arsenal thoroughly deserved it, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. I'm not going to be the one that jumps on the bandwagon and say, you didn't do this. You can only score corners. You can only do that. You look are poor. How are you going to be champions if you play like that? Don't give a toss. I'm not even here to talk about being champions. It's 4 games in, right? Even though we had Liverpool fans saying about title contention, then get humbled by Forest. Them ones there. But they deserved it. And I think, you know what? This Tottenham humbling was needed. And you know what? People weren't pointing this one out. This point last season, Chelsea were in the same position with the exact same points under Pochettino. But it won't get spoken about enough. But yet the fans are the first ones to hype up and believe that they're actually going to do something. You got Man United soon, by the way. Just letting you know, Tottenham fans. That's not going to be an easy game at Old Trafford. You barely win there. You might get a draw here and there. You ain't winning it. Next game, Brentford. Brentford away from home. Gave Man City a great game. Be worried about that if I was you lot. Not being funny. You defended really well too. But you ain't got Haaland. You got Dominic Nolanke. Anyways, let's see where it goes from there. Arsenal, though, all credit. 3 points. Etihad, a draw will probably do you lot some service. If not the end of the world. But you need to be going there with a mentality that you need to go and get that W. This is where you face adversity. This is where you earn your money. Arteta got his new contract and he's got through for the first hurdle. And again, a little bit of props. I'm not even glazing it. I'm just being fair on my assessment on this because you can't really go off of much on this game. It's actually pretty difficult to actually give anyone praise through at the furthest line. You've set up in your 4-4-2, nothing new. You got your win done. Maybe the performances come after the Etihad game. I don't expect a crazy dominating performance from Arsenal in that aspect on all fronts in all-around game. But we'll see when we get there. But right now, I'm just thinking about roasting Deji and George because I know Mons, Guna, Leah, Gal, and the rest of the crew, including Daps, can't wait for that one. But please smash the like button. Very important. Big up for all the new subscribers as well. Very important. Bread and butter of this channel. You know what it is. Come on. Let's go, man. In a bitch.